some of the things a couple of things that highlight as moments growing up that were kind of like WTF type things for you that happened that also defined this part of who you are?
Yeah. Again, because my father taught me to always take risks, and that there isn't really any bad risks, that just outcomes that you then navigate from, right? So I dealt with quite a few. I attempted to do a startup early on, not knowing anything about, technology back then. I mean, you're going back about, 18 years now, 17 years. And everything that could have gone wrong did, from being in business with a friend to, not knowing, how to manage the outcomes to,
Totally.
to making decisions with money, to making decisions, period, all that stuff. So, and there was a lot learned there, because there were responsibilities that my father instantly put me into, where he said, you have to work through them and do the right thing. And sometimes that's really hard when you're trying to do the right thing, because not so much doing the right thing, but so much how it feels when you're doing the right thing. When you're owning up to mistakes and you're trying to do right by the people who, invested in you and things like that.
The important thing behind that is that we all have those moments.
Yeah.
And sometimes we look at them like, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
And also, there's also like those excited parts of like, whoa, what just happened? This is super cool.
Right.
And so it's kind of flip side to both sides, but for sure, like there's some of those that define who we are, and so many lessons that we learn from those kinds of moments.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really like connecting with, like just kind of sharing that common bond that we all have. Like we all have those, we all have shit that happens in our lives. And what do we do from that information that comes to us? Like, what do we do after that? So it's kind of like that. Like, what did you obviously grew from a lot of those types of moments that also defines in what you're doing now. But what were some of those things that kind of stand out from those kind of lessons?
No, I'm glad you bring that up. You're right. It does prompt you to say, what do I do now? Because I had lost a startup, lost a friend, lost a marriage, lost a big contract that I actually did completely right by and did well for, lost, other colleagues along the way. So, lost a place to live at one point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, pick an area, lost money.
Yeah.
Pick a category. The bulk of them that happened a little bit later on, they then prompted me to have to take a look at myself and start looking at patterns of the choices I'm making. It doesn't matter if I didn't inflict the situation onto myself. However I got there came from a series of decisions that I made, right? Yeah. So I wanted to understand how to improve myself from that point on. So I started looking at, okay, how am I communicating with people up front? How am I being responsible with money? How or having more open conversations about money? I'm very integrity driven. It was instilled in me from my father. So how to have those kind of conversations up front with people or in business or with what we're trying to do if we're trying to come together. From a relationship standpoint, how am I behaving as a man to a partner? Am I already doing those things for myself? Yeah. Because if I'm going to start looking for them in somebody else, then I've already lost. Everybody out there that's already looking for it in somebody else is already losing. Yeah.